Hello and welcome back to Iron Squid Group H. We're in the middle of match 2, game number 3, as Delphi is currently 1-1 with NesTea. I'm sure everyone would have expected NesTea to solidly win this series with a 2-0, but Delphi's kind of surprised us with an incredible game number 1. But Killaris, can he manage to pull it off in game 3 and close the win, or is NesTea going to do the expected shutdown?
Game 3 is going to be difficult for him. We're on Daybreak here, a map that both players are very, very familiar with, and those third base dynamics do come very, very heavily to fruition on this map. But NesTea, if he can stick to form, if he can just, I don't want to say get super aggressive, but if he can use those waves of aggression as well as he has been able to do in the past, then I don't see why he couldn't shut down Delphi.
So let's go ahead and hop into the game and check it out. Is NesTea going to do a weird build? Is he going to do something normal? Shall not be a problem, because we shall see now, Killaris.
We shall, as we do have spawning down to our bottom left-hand corner here as our red Zerg. He goes by the name of ATN Delphi.
And up in the top right from Team Incredible Miracle, the multi-GSL champ, and known for being a Zerg vs. Zerg specialist, it is I Am NesTea.
So, for now, we will indeed see how things are going to go on Daybreak. Daybreak, as I said before, is one of those maps where grabbing a third base, securing that, controlling the space at your opponent's third as well can be extremely, extremely important. And also, as we've seen before, we've seen both of these players go into Muta play. And oh my god, NesTea, he's actually going to go for another 9 pull here. And it's a pretty cool choice, because Daybreak is another map where Zergs have felt very, very comfortable in going for a hatchery first. So unless Delphi can learn from his past mistakes on other maps, unless he's going to go for like a 15 pull, for example, then he might find himself in a spot where he's going to get punished by this. But what I was saying about the mid-game, actually, going for double Spire, the potential for both of them going Spire each, there's pretty much, other than I would say Ohana, which is a really good map for Spire versus Spire. And oh, Delphi, he's actually going to go for just the spawning pool himself as well.
I like this. This makes a lot of sense. I mean, you don't really fall that far behind. You can defend against a variety of early pressures, such as this one, but I'm actually worried more for NesTea in this circumstance. How do you play this off as NesTea? You're trying to do pool aggression. You're going to run headlong into these Zerglings. I mean, it does take about 30 seconds from the Zerglings to get from ramp to ramp, so...
Well, this is exactly what I was talking about. I was saying that, Delphi, will he have learned from his mistakes prior? Like going for hatchery first on a normal hatchery first map, like Daybreak is something that's scary against NesTea. And NesTea is showing that he still has the tendencies to go for the aggression, and Delphi's learned. Delphi has learned, and he's reacting so well to what's going on. It's nice to see from Delphi.
Well, let's see if Delphi will he be able to react in time. He's getting the 6 Zerglings up. They're about to pop out. Hatch is taking some damage, but we're seeing round 2 of Zerglings starting to swing on in as well. There's drones coming down. Oh, he needs to make sure those drones are the ones really taking the brunt of the damage, because Delphi knows he has the drone lead at this point. Oh, Delphi, keep them together. Oh, no. Oh, a terrible angle for Delphi. He is going to end up losing all of those Zerglings almost immediately, and the drones will follow suit.
Oh.
Delphi had the drones in back.
Yeah, that was very, very bad indeed. He's going to start nibbling away at this hatchery once again. I don't think he's going to get the cancellation. The drone's coming off here, trying to deal with this, but this is more than Delphi needed to lose. Losing an extra drone just there once again. He's already lost 4 in all of this, and he's set himself back 10 drones to 15 in favor of NesTea.
Well, it looks like Delphi is still going to have at least some leads that he can cling to and claim his expansion is a little bit ahead, but this is a little bit rough. This is a tricky position for Delphi. It's not a lost position, but tricky definitely is the word I'd use.
And I mean, coming back to what I was saying just before, in the form of this is a map, and both of them have shown tendencies to go Spire. So this is a map where I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a mid-game come to fruition and Spire versus Spire occur. And if that does happen, then, I mean, from the position that we're finding them in, there's so many dynamics that come out from that little... I certainly hope it doesn't happen, because it can be so volatile sometimes with that Spire versus Spire.
At the same time, though, I really think that that's where some of the most interesting micro battles end up happening. When players are trying to decide, do I stop Mutalisk, do I keep pressuring with Mutalisks, and you can end up with these really wild, dynamic games. Delphi trying to put a little counter pressure to NesTea, but NesTea is already ahead by nearly 10 drones at this very early time. Delphi's doing the smart move, though, saying, you know what? If I'm that far behind on drones, but I'm ahead on the Zergling speed upgrade, I'm going to be striking swiftly.
Yeah, he's just accruing a ton of Zerglings across these lava injects here. And this is scary, because unless NesTea's Baneling defense is very, very solid, then he can't have enough Zerglings to defend this. It's an impossibility for him to have enough lava and enough Zerglings across the board, unless he sees it like right now. And it's all going to be down to the micro. Can Delphi put on the pressure enough to do the damage at the natural?
I mean, looks like Delphi is putting himself in the same position we saw NesTea in game number 1. Does NesTea have defense as strong as Delphi's? You know, Ohana's a little bit smaller of a map, so it's a little bit easier to get these sorts of attacks off, but now we're seeing the Zergling sweep and instant surround on the Spine Crawler. The Banelings are at the backside. Excellent connections, and NesTea, doesn't even lose the Spine Crawler, doesn't even lose the Queen. Oh, Delphi goes in for attempt number 2 and still doesn't even kill off the Spine. Swing in number 3. Will it even kill off the Queen? No, it will not, but Delphi is still making marginal headway with these floods of lings.
Oh, Delphi, right now, he needs to do way more damage than he has done. He gets one of the Queens once again. He's running up into the main, trying to nibble away at the gas geyser drones. And with that, I don't think he can kill enough to even up the odds, because behind this, it's 33 workers to 25. And there's been a lot more gas. Well, there will be a lot more gas mined for NesTea very soon, as those 2 gas geysers are going to finish up very quickly.
All right, now again, if we look at the various leads that can occur, we see a unit lead for NesTea and a drone lead for NesTea. You want to have the lead in one of those at any given point in time, so right now Delphi is trying to play the catch-up game, and we see him yet again saying, man, I got to get this Roach Warren up for defense. NesTea just going, I'm in a comfortable spot. I can easily throw down a layer, and there it finally starts. So NesTea is going to likely transition into Spire. He's putting on this pressure and is getting really lucky with these ling angles. 2 Queens from Delphi out in the middle of nowhere.
That's a really, really nice pick off there. NesTea for now still just going to pull back a little bit. That Spine Crawler and Zergling is just a little too much for him to deal with, but he's going for layer straight away again. And Delphi, feeling as if he's behind, he's just going straight for the Roach Warren. He still doesn't have any gases. He still doesn't have his layer on the way, so he's just going to try and go for the kill move with Roaches, whilst it's going to be the same situation as game number 2, Sean. Oh dear.
This is a bit brutal. It's a bit unfortunate and painful in many ways. But this goes to show you what happens when you go up against a GSL World Champ, a champ that managed to defeat his teammate Losira 4-0 in the finals. I mean, this is just a prime example of a player who knows a matchup in and out. We see NesTea, look at this, taking the Spire. After he starts his third base, it's a quick Spire and an even quicker third.
That's very, very scary. I mean, again, the biggest dynamics of this map are trying to deny a third, trying to regain a third. If you're this far ahead with a third on Daybreak, you know you're in an amazing position as that third player. So for now, the Banelings are going to waddle into the natural, trying to connect with some of the drones. Zergling's trying to deny any kind of roaches from connecting there with the Banelings, but finally, it does get cleaned up. That was a pretty nice defense there by Delphi, actually. But NesTea didn't really need to make anything too much happen there, at least.
NesTea now just kind of holding the watchtower. The, again, deceptively tied supply counts are about to be flipped as we go ahead and check out the money for NesTea. He's saving up all those Spine Crawlers going down. They are contingency crawlers. NesTea should be able to deflect this attack down at the bottom side, but looks like Delphi's not going to make it easy for him.
On NesTea, all he has to do is hold this. If he can hold this, if he can get those Mutalisks out, with the 900 gas that he's actually had banked up here. He's going to be in an amazing position. Zerglings are running down. There's a lot of Banelings, though, that NesTea has to be very, very careful about that. Delphi could do damage, but actually there's just too many Spine Crawlers. Unless he gets the most perfect Baneling connections in the middle of Spine Crawlers and Zerglings, it's going to be so hard for him.
Oh, that's such a nice spread. Look at this! Riding out to meet him, Lord of the Rings style, why not? Marches right on out and makes each of those roaches one-shottable. And the third base will fall, but once those Mutalisks pop right on in, poor Delphi. NesTea with the mind games at the start. Now we're seeing Delphi rush in. Does he pick off drones? Does he pick off units? All NesTea has to do is run away. Oh!
Oh
NesTea even giving us a present of an incredible Baneling explosion, but, you know, it's just not enough at this point, Killaris. GG.
And, Sean, we hit 10k, so I should be giving 4 away hotkeys, but Delphi has been defeated here. NesTea plows on victoriously. I couldn't call that series before it ended up happening, because Delphi's just got these weird swings of ZVZ, but NesTea showing why he is still pretty darn good in ZVZ.
I mean, you know, I feel like perhaps I have been inappropriate by that tone of somberness when Delphi ended up losing the series. It is always exciting to see an under-celebrated player like Delphi do well. A little disheartening to see him have the lead and then to fall down to 2-1. But at the same time, I know there's a lot of NesTea fans out there who are very excited to see NesTea pop back into his prime form. In 10 straight GSLs, we've seen NesTea before he dropped out and then had to requalify. And we haven't seen a lot of NesTea as of late. He doesn't travel out to the foreign scene as much. But, I mean, NesTea really having some incredible, solid play. I mean, in Game 1, even after the just terrible, terrible start attack, where it wasn't even that NesTea played poorly, Delphi played great. NesTea still held on till 20 minutes.
Not missing a beat, really. So, guys, we shall now move on to our next series in just a second, and it's going to be Violet versus NesTea to decide who is the first player advancing on from Group H. So, hold on to your seats, guys. We're going to have some more ZVZ very soon, but it's going to be a ride and a half as Violet and NesTea battle it out after this commercial break.